Hi, welcome back to Auto Review. My name is Patrick and welcome to the year 2018. And I have the pleasure to present the very first car of 2018, and this is the 2018 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. So Mitsubishi finally got a new car out in the model range, and if you think about Eclipse, you'll think, wait, wasn't that a sports car? Yes, it was. Actually, the most famous Eclipse in the world, I would assume, is the one from Paul Walker in Fast and the Furious Part 1. But Mitsubishi decided to revive the name, however, make a SUV out of it. So we have a SUV crossover coupe style, and therefore it's called Eclipse Cross. Now, before we get to the car, please hit the subscribe button, activate the bell icon so you're informed about any new car, and thank you very much Garage Zuta, who provided this car to me. You'll find the link in the description, and if you have any more questions, please just contact them. Alright, coming back to the Eclipse Cross, what do we have here? So, for the beginning, as it was just recently launched and it's going to be available now at your dealerships, you have only one engine choice, which is this one, the 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, producing 163 horsepower at 5,500 RPM, maximum torque of 250 Newton meters between 1,800 and 4,500 RPM, 0 to 100 time in 9.8 seconds, and a top speed of 200 kilometers per hour. We have a CO2 output of 159 grams per kilometer. We've driven the car over the past 5 days and over 500 kilometers, and the fuel consumption tested was 6.6 to 8.4 liters on 100 kilometers. This one is mounted to an 8-speed CVT automatic transmission, which is actually not bad at all, I have to say. There are actually CVT transmissions out there, just to name a few, Toyota or Subaru for example, which are all different, and this one is actually one of the better ones, I have to say. I really liked it, and with the 163 horsepower it drives pretty good and pretty nimble. So in Switzerland, prices for the Eclipse Cross start at, just read it on the door, 23,999 Swiss francs. The diamond trim level, which we have here, which is the highest, starts at 37,999 Swiss francs. However, we have here not only the diamond, but we have everything on board. So this one is the fully equipped one. We have the panoramic roof, which you will see in a moment, as well as the comfort pack with 360 camera, LED lights, and so on, heated seats in the back, and so on and so on. Therefore, the sticker price for this one would be 45,999 Swiss francs. Okay, so one thing I forgot, fuel tank capacity 60 liters, therefore the range with the lowest fuel consumption I managed, the 6.6 liters, would get you to around 909 kilometers on one fuel tank. Alright, without further ado, you've seen the car from outside. Let's check the first row, second row, the boot space, and then as usual, we drive. Enjoy! Alright, so the Eclipse Cross from inside, and I have to say, I spent the last 5 days driving this car, and you find everything where you're looking for, with a few things that are worth improving, I would say. Overall, comfort is very good, and as usual, let me go from left to right. So, on the door handles, we have the adjustment of the mirrors, which have a blind spot assistant as well. Obviously, you can fold them in as well electrically, left and right, and they are heated as well. Then below we have the lock and open button for the doors to lock the windows in the back, and the 4 electric windows. However, we have only auto function for the driver, up and down. However, passengers and the rear passengers have electric windows, but no auto function. One thing as well is when you open it, we'll see it in the back, they don't go all the way down. Then we have door bins, which are pretty big. You can fit, unfortunately not big bottles because of the height, but from the space they are spacious. Then materials, here is hard plastic, here is soft, then this is hard again, here's hard. Then we have obviously the leather wrapped with the orange stitching here, and we have that one here as well, plus the carbon fiber look. Now on the left we have an array of buttons, the collision warning, lane departure assistant, ESP on and off. We have a head-up display, which is really great, which is covered here. However, again, I'm like all cars where they have head-up display that open and fold down, is how long will this last? I really would like to have something where I can fix this to be open all the time. Then we have start-stop on and off and parking sensors on and off. Then steering wheel is adjusted in reach and rake, which is good. On the left side we have the buttons to go through the menu system in the middle that gives you trip A, trip B and so on. Then instrument cluster is very clear, RPM left, speedo right, and a color display in the middle, and on the bottom you have temperature, gear, as well as fuel, tank capacity, plus obviously trip and temperature. And on the top you have, if you're in auto mode, because we have here the S-AWC, which is super all-wheel control. That's what Mitsubishi calls it, where you can have auto, snow or gravel, and it works not only front and back, it works as well left and right, which is pretty good. Then we have the adjustment for the button. We have auto, high beam. However, every time you turn off the car, you turn it on, you have to activate that, which is a little annoying, but it's good that it's still there and it's very quick. We have BLED headlights, which work very good and very bright. I really like them. As I mentioned, I do drive quite a lot in the night, so I can really tell you. Then we have shift pedals, and as in the ASX, these are made from metal and they're really good, and you can reach them from the bottom and from the top, which is great. And they're fixed to the column so they don't move with the steering wheel. Then steering wheel, leather wrapped with kind of piano black parts on the bottom. On the left side you have volume, and if you go through the station and the modes. We have a camera button, which is something I haven't seen before, so if you press it, you'll see while standing the reverse camera, plus a 360 view, or you can change it to the view on the right side mirror, so when you're driving on the highway and it works while driving as well, you can see if you're on the lane or not. Not quite sure for what this is, but I guess it's more for parking. And on the bottom then obviously voice control and telephone. On the right side we have the speed limiter and cruise control, as well as the adaptive radar and 4 settings. And cruise control, I tell you already, 30 kilometers an hour, great. Then push start button, adjustment for the brightness. That's it for here. Then in the middle we have a 8-inch screen with this touch sensitive buttons, and it is okay. It could be bigger because this part on the bottom not really needed. I would love to have it bigger. And the biggest flaw with this system is it has no built-in navigation, so you have to use a cable and attach your phone, in my case iPhone, and then you have obviously the mirror from the iPhone, and then you use Google Maps or Maps. Which is okay if you have a data package, which is okay if you're young and you're into smartphones and all this stuff. However, if you take this car abroad, you have no data abroad, but if you have no data contract abroad, you have no navigation. And I think that's the biggest flaw. Maybe they didn't think about that. In Japan, when they sell this car, you can't get out of Japan while you're there, right? But if you're driving anywhere here in Europe and you don't have a data contract, I think that might be something to consider. Then display to show if all the passengers are buckled up, if the passenger airbag is on and off. Dual zone air conditioning with a sync button. We have heated seats in the front in 2 settings with quite huge buttons, which is kind of funny. And we have heated seats in the comfort pack in 2 settings for the rear passengers, left and right as well. We have here a heated steering wheel, which is great. These parts are heated here and here. We have a heated windshield, which is great as well if you park your car outside. We have eco mode, which takes away a little bit of the power, or at least it feels like this. So if you want to accelerate, you have to accelerate a bit harder to get it. We have 2 USB ports, a 12-volt power socket, then the compartment to put your phone, the mentioned heated seats, the 8-speed CVT, then is the button for the, again I forgot the name, super all-wheel control. and it's really called Super. Then we have the touchpad here with that allows you to go through it, and either way you can do it either on the screen or here. And back button, audio, apps, and home. However, it looks a little bit like they put it on top, but it's all fixed, so don't worry about it. Electronic parking brake with auto hold function, great. 2 cup holders with spacers, and they're illuminated, so they don't fly around, which is good. The armrest, you can't slide it forward, but once you open it, you have a little tray here. There are no connections in here, but quite a deep space, so you can put a wallet and so on and so on. Mirror is a manual one. Then lights we have here, and we have the panoramic roof, as I mentioned, so you can open it, close the blind, and we have one as well in the back. However, to get to the back one, you have to reach here, which is good for the rear passengers, not so good for the front, but either way, when you're in the front, it doesn't really matter for you. Then we have the mirrors and the sunshades for driver and passenger illuminated, and last but not least, the glove box with big part on top where you can leave something. I'm not sure if you can fit this. Yeah, you can. And another compartment on the bottom, which is good. All right, so that's for the front. Let's check the back. Sorry, I forgot. We have electric adjustable seats, however, no lumbar support. Okay, now we go in the back. All right, so space in the back. You say, oh, damn, it's too short. But you see, we can actually move the seats 20 centimeters back and forth. So you can either increase the space in the boot, or the space for the passengers, or 60-40% left and right. So let me just put this back, and then you can see I have plenty of space. So the seat in front is adjusted to me. I'm 184 tall. You see now I'm kind of touching, not yet. However, you see as well the difference in incline. So if we do this, ta-da, enough headroom. And it's a little bit more relaxed and maybe for sleeping in the back. So the doors open wide, and one thing that I forgot to mention as well is that the doors are designed that you have very slim pillars here to actually get in and out. So actually they're wrapped around. I'm just going to show you the picture now so you'll see what I mean and you understand what I mean. Then we close them. We have obviously to lock and open, then the electric window. And what I mentioned, it doesn't go all the way down, and it's not an auto window as well. We have tinted windows on B-pillar all around, and here compartment for 0.5 liter bottles. Space on the back side of the seats for magazines. We have heated seats in 2 settings for the rear passenger, and we have a 12-volt power outlet there. A lot of space below the seats as well to put the feet, so actually it's really spacious, this car. We have handles, hooks. And we have an armrest, which obviously inclines and declines with the seat. And now, for example, the drink would not stay straight. However, we have 2 cup holders, plastic, not rubberized, so it's kind of hard. And now this is the highest for the headrest, as you can see. And the third belt you'll find in here, which is attached so it doesn't fly around. It makes noise only if you need it. Isofix left and right, and other than that it's good space. And what I like is the that is very variable and you can move it around, so really what you need. I love that, and I wish every car would have that. So just one more thing, be careful when you get it out because of the roof line here, so you have to actually go like this, otherwise you're gonna knock your head on the door. All right, so let's check the boots. So okay, so the Eclipse Cross from the back, and this is where the car is polarizing, or let's say where most people will think yes or no. What I like actually about the line, let me show you, is really this one going through the handles into the rear light. Then we have these 3D lights that go on top from the roof, and then it obviously goes all the way through the rear window. This is a split window, so we have a top part and a bottom part, which in some cases it's helpful, in other cases not, and I'll tell you when we drive about it. So what do we have? We have a really huge backside here, and we have the shark fin antenna on top, roof spoiler, and one little cool gimmick is that the rear wiper is not here, it's actually on the top, and I actually found it on the 4th day only because I wasn't really looking for it. One more thing, 5-year warranty from Mitsubishi in Switzerland. Then the rear light is what makes the car look different. So the lights go up to here, then we have a third brake light, it's in the middle rather than on top, and then obviously it continues on the other side. Logos, Eclipse Cross, pretty big. Then as well, it says a trim level here, diamond, chrome, yeah, part in the middle. Then when we open it, you'll see the reverse camera. However, again, I have to criticize it with every car. It's not protected. I really like the system Mercedes, for example, does, or I have seen it in Mercedes, where it's actually in a flap, and once you put a reverse gear in, it flips open and it's always clean. I wish every car manufacturer would do that. Then, once you open the boot, we have a cover, and then the boot space is 378 liters. And as I mentioned, we have the rear seats that you can move forward and backwards. So you can have either 378 liters and more space for the legs, or you can have 485 liters and a little bit less space for the legs. And if you fold down the seats in 60 and 40, you can increase the boot space to 1159 liters. Loading height is obviously higher because it's SUV. However, I've seen higher ones, I've seen lower ones as well. And here we have an optional rubber mat as well. If you lift that floor, then you have a compartment which is actually not too small to put smaller items. And in this case, we have as well a subwoofer on the right side that takes a little bit space away. A light and a hook on the left, and that's pretty much it. So let's close it up and let's drive. So let's drive it before it gets dark, because sun is setting and we don't have much daylight left. Okay, so first of all, for everyone who knows the channel already and is following regularly, this is my usual test track, right? Because it's just the best for me. 30 km/h test track, cruise control on. You can go in 1 or 5 kilometer steps. So if you go 1, it goes 1. If you hold longer, it goes 5. And 30 kilometers per hour. Thumbs up. Passed. So this one starting at 30. And even if you're below 30, because we have the adaptive radar, you can launch it, and then the car will obviously slow down until stop, or drive with 5 or 10 or 15 kilometers per hour behind the car in front of you, which is great. Now let me put it on low, heating the seat because it's really quick. So if you put it on high, it's very quick and it's gonna get warm very, very fast. So driving position, very comfortable, good visibility, big mirrors with the alert. And what is beeping there all the time is he sees the car, or basically recognizes the car in front. It appears or disappears, or it's further away or closer again. That's what's beeping all the time, or you're gonna hear it beeping. Alright, so things I like, let me go back to the navigation, which is one thing that I don't like because it's not fixed built in, but I have a data plan even abroad of 2 GB, so for me it would work if I'm not abroad too long and I don't navigate along. So navigation, that's one minus point, that it's not built in. But things I love are obviously heated seats. Actually now it's getting even too warm. Heated steering wheel, heated windshield. I like the engine and the transmission. Yes, CVT is not a double clutch transmission, which is the more sporty version of an automatic, or it's not a regular automatic, it's a CVT, so it's, yeah, basically it has no gears, even though it has gears, right? So difficult to explain, but usually CVT is more on comfort and fuel economy rather than sportiness and fun. But the 1.5 liter producing 163 horsepower, which is good. I like that it's not a 3-cylinder, that's actually, it's still a 4-cylinder. And it's actually pretty nimble. So I'm going to take it out from Echo. Yeah, now it's out. It's going to be much more nimble. We're going to go on the highway. And I like that it has 8 gears. Yeah. And the noise level is low. It's not too high. I don't have too much wind noise. We're going to hear it in a moment. And the all-wheel drive system that actually, it's not only front and back, it's left and right as well, which is really good. Now, fuel consumption for 163 horsepower, 6.6, let's say 7 liters, is not bad, I have to say. There are cars obviously that have less power and use more fuel. There are cars that have more power and use less fuel. I mean, it depends, right? It's not too heavy, 1,580-ish, I believe. So let's go on the highway and we'll accelerate and you'll see. Engine is warm, yeah. see, it's not an usual CVT. It revs up, but it moves and then it shifts up to the next gear. There are a lot of CVTs that rev all the way up very quickly and hold there, keep the revs at 5,000-6,000 RPM, and at one point they're like, this one doesn't do it. So I think Mitsubishi has done a good job with this CVT transmission. Now, what I love as well is we have a smart heating system here, and what I mean with that is, if in the morning, like in the winter, it's cold, usually when you get in the car, you want the car to get warm as quickly as possible, right? So when you put in the heater on a temperature and you put the fan up, usually the fan goes all the way up, right, to high or whatever. Basically now we have low, but if I put it on high, it will not automatically build up the fan speed to the maximum. It will recognize that the engine is cold, keep it there, and with the engine getting warmer, it will increase the fan speed, which is a great thing. I have not seen this in another car, and I think it's something small, but it makes a big difference. So you don't have to think about it, oh my god, it's cold, oh shit, I want the temperature to be warm, to be high, but the fan low, and then you forget to adjust the fan again. This car does it for you, which is great. Another smart feature is the wipers, or are the wipers. Now, watch it on this camera. If I want to wash my windshield, look what it does. It sprays exactly in between the wiping, and therefore you don't waste the washer fluid, and it gets really good washed. I really like it. And then a few seconds later, it just does the second wash. I love this. These are really small, smart features. Now, what else I love? Design. This is the thing that most people will question, right? Especially the rear. I don't know where to go. Now we go here. Oh, we have a new Porsche Panamera. Maybe in summer we're gonna have Porsche as well for testing, so wish me luck, and then you're gonna have some more excitement on the channel as well. Now, buttons are easy to reach. There's the ASX, as I mentioned, top right, just check, there is a video of that one already. Now the rear view is, let's say, call it handicapped with the brake light in between, but as I mentioned at the same time, now for example the distance between the car behind me is perfect, because now the lights are exactly disappearing in that part that is dividing the rear view or the rear glass, and from that point of view I really like it. And I don't really see the point of criticizing the car for that, because it works, and we have a reverse camera. Now, apropos camera, if we drive now, I mentioned there is a camera on the right side. If you activate the camera button, you'll see obviously the front and the rear camera is off, but the right one is on. Now we have a little bit of dirt from washing the windows, but you'll see the line in the greener, so I can go all the way here, and now I see what. Don't get too close, because otherwise I'm gonna scrap the wheels on the sidewalk, which is good. I think it's actually for parking, but you can use it while driving as well. Push start button is good. Keyless go is good, so you just grab the handle, push the black button, and it opens. Seated position is fine. Seats are comfortable, give you good support. Lumbar support is missing. That is one thing that I would wish for. And other than that, I love the auto hold function. Materials and build quality is good. I didn't find a flaw in it. Okay, manual mirror is fine. It works. I mean, nothing there to criticize. And it's really nimble. As I mentioned, it's a really nimble car. Fuel consumption is fair. Space is great. I love the back seats, and I love that you can move them forward and backward, which is really good. I mean, it's so much more practical to have a car where you can move the seats like that, because you can decide, do I need more space? If you have someone taller maybe, do I need more boot space? And you can move it left and right separately, which is great as well. Steering wheel heat is awesome. I love it, especially in winter conditions like this. No, it really has a good pickup. Two more points is we have only one engine choice, which is the 1.5 liter turbo, which is good. There is no diesel at the moment. There is supposed to arrive I'm not quite sure if within 2018, but that would be the next engine to arrive at 2.2 liter diesel. However, I have no figures on that one. And potentially a hybrid as well, but no figures on that one either at the moment. So for the start, we have only this engine. Prices, $23,999. Obviously, you're not going to get all this technology, all this systems. So we have the adaptive cruise control with the cameras, 360-degree cameras for parking, blind spot assistant, lane departure warning. That is another criticizing point I have. It's just a lane departure warning. It will beep, it will indicate, it will do everything but not bring you back to the lane where you're going out from. And I would love it to be an active lane departure assistant, not a lane departure warning. Maybe for the future. Now, competition I mentioned, Peugeot 3008, Suzuki Vitara, Toyota RAV4-ish. It depends, because this is somewhere in between from the size. It's very practical, but yeah. So, what I think, who's this car for? I don't know. For anyone who likes SUVs. My recommendation for the engine is very easy this time. It's a 1.5 liter. I recommend you this engine because there is no other engine available. Very smart, pulling out. And I think it's a fair deal. The car is really good equipped already in the lowest trim level. Just check Garage Suter, link in the description, and just see what it is. Now, they even launched this car in Germany, because I've seen it, and was only until 31st of December 2017, which was yesterday. It was available for €18,999. Now it's back to $21,999. But I think this is still a good price, both in Germany and here in Switzerland, for what you get. Would I recommend the CVT versus the 6-speed manual? I haven't tested the manual, but I really like the CVT in this car. It's really good. And I guess the video is long enough. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, like and share if you're interested in this car or any cars. Activate the bell icon so you see any new videos coming out, usually 1 or 2 a week, if I have enough cars. So the more watched, the more subscribed, the more views, the more cars I will be able to get to test them and show you. So thank you very much. Happy New Year 2018, and thank you Garage Suter for providing this car. See you next time. Have a good day. Bye.